So I'm here with Claire Kalo, who's undertaking the Anger Academy course right now. So Claire, first of all, tell us what attracted you to the course in the first place.
Well, back in May this last year, my father passed away. And I found myself being very angry. And I thought it was something that would pass. I live in Israel, I'm Jewish, and we do the 7 days of mourning. And I was under the impression that after the 7 days, it would pass. But I found that 3 months later, I still had these extreme feelings of anger that were very new to me, because I've never thought of myself as being an angry person. And then one day I heard a podcast. I started going online to educate myself a little bit, to help myself a little bit. And I heard a podcast about the Anger Academy. And I immediately said, I want to do that. I wasn't even totally aware that they were beating anger courses to do, even though I do know it. At that point, it just wasn't in my consciousness that I could do a beating anger course. So I contacted Mike and I asked him if I could do the course. And he said, of course you can. You just need to do the beating anger course beforehand. So I did the beating anger course, and I was blown away. So it was via a podcast that I originally heard about the course and started the beating anger course. And then I went on to the Anger Academy.
And did you have any background in counseling or therapy already?
Absolutely not. About 30 years ago, I did go to counseling, but I have no training in counseling or therapy or psychology or anything like that. I work in the health industry, so I've always been a people's person, treating people, and people talk. You talk to your patients. So that was the only background I had with people.
And how have you found that? Because you're doing the course, the Anger Academy course right now. How have you found that when going to the Anger Academy course? Has it been something that's been quite simple to slip into?
I was very nervous when we started, because I found out that there was a psychologist there and another therapist there, and I speak 3 languages, but I'm not a master of any of them, so there were people there that just seemed highly educated to me. But I found that the course, Mike is just a magnificent facilitator and teacher, and the ease that he makes you feel. I just felt at ease and very fast at home with the whole group.
And some of the psychological concepts and the psychology side of it, is that still all easy to grasp in the way that you could then go out and teach it yourself?
Mike gave us a list of 10 books to read in order to expand our knowledge. But don't forget that we are learning to be facilitators. I'm not there to be anybody's therapist. If I feel that from the education I'm receiving, If I feel that somebody definitely needs a deeper session, I can advise them to go to therapy. And by then, I'm sure I'll have a group of therapists' names that I would advise on. So it is not my job to be a therapist here. The Academy is about being a facilitator.
And in case anyone out there isn't kind of clear what that means, what would that mean in the context of coaching anger management for you going forward?
Well, fortunately, Mike has already done all the work for us, and the organization BAM that has this whole course of beating anger, we are learning to facilitate the course of beating anger. So all the information is actually done for us. We just have to learn how to follow the script. Of course, you need basic human understanding of what is going on and group dynamics. So it's a no-brainer. It's just a matter of exercise, of experience, of gaining the experience within the course.
And now you've done a beating anger course yourself.
Yes.
What were your impressions of what the other people were like on the course? Was it different to how you expected?
Well, I did the one course, and I have supervised Mike on 2 other courses. And the common denominator that I found in all 3 courses was that everybody who came to the course was extremely surprised that everybody in the group was normal and down to earth. And because anger seems to have this image of a big bully who's screaming and shouting, and it's not. I mean, my own anger issues that I really wasn't aware of until I did the course was more of a passive aggressive person hiding everything under the surface. And there were a lot of people there just like me who were unfamiliar with their anger and found out that, you know, there's so much more underneath it. So learning all the different styles of anger was very awakening to find
sorry,
out.
you go first.
Yeah. So everybody was normal there. There weren't any loudmouth bullies over there.
So taking the beating anger course certainly made you more confident about running, or facilitating.
Oh, taking the course just sealed the deal for me because it was a magnificent journey. It helped me understand my own anger. It helped me understand where my anger was coming from. And it helped me with solutions to overcome it.
And how did you find doing it on a Zoom call?
There were people in the group who've done both. They've done the 4-day seminars and they've done the Zoom course. I only know the Zoom course. I don't know the other one. From their experience, they found that the once a week Zoom course gave you the ability to absorb everything you've learned in 1 week before you start with the next bit of information. So I absolutely loved it. And being in Israel, I wouldn't have been able to do this course if it wasn't on Zoom. So loved it.
And what's the demand like for anger management in your part of the world? And how is anger management positioned within the culture? How aware are people that the course is available? And is it, how much of an angry culture is it compared to, say, a Britain or an America, do you think?
I think that there's a lot of anger here in Israel. Okay. Over the news this whole year, they have been reporting wives being killed by husbands. From social workers, I know about the abuse in family during this whole last year of the COVID has been terrible. But Israelis in general are very outspoken people. Even when they're happy, they're loud. So when they're angry, the volume really goes up. But I think that this whole year has taught us so much. And I think there's a lot of anger in the air. And I think that there's a lot of anger that's still going to be exposed because we're now coming out of the COVID, but a lot of damage has been done to people, to businesses, to families. So I think that we've actually just touched the brink of what is going to come as far as anger is concerned.
And what in the course so far do you think has most prepared you to start addressing, or be one of the people who can start addressing those kind of issues in your country?
I'm a very confident person within myself.
I can tell.
But the fact is that I'm going to be a facilitator. I'm not there to give therapy. I'm there to give the information on the course, help people understand the information that is already pre-written for me. And I think that there are a lot of people out there who don't want to go to therapy. They're looking for individual courses, self-help that they can do. And this is the answer for them. So does that answer the question?
Yes, absolutely. It's a very good answer. Okay. I think something like 95% of the people who approach BAM, looking for an anger management course have never had any therapy. And for most of them, it's the first time they've been introduced to certain psychological concepts. And from what I can tell of the small amounts of the course that I've done, it's that's how the course is tailored to introduce people gradually to what could be some quite challenging concepts for some of them.
Yes, absolutely.
So what's most surprised you about doing the course so far?
The academy?
Yeah.
When we started off with Academy, our first few lessons were, it felt like therapy to me. We were working on ourselves. We were doing all kinds of exercises on ourselves, on our own problems, on our own anger issues. And I kept on thinking, when are we going to start with the studying? I wanted to study. But Mike has such a unique way of teaching, because what we were doing was actually, he was using those sessions to help us understand the facilitating part of what we were learning. So he was able to extract from that all the examples of what we had just gone through as a facilitator. And then only after that did we start studying more about facilitation. So that was an excellent example, but also it was a form of a clearing process so that we also get rid of our anger issues and not bring them to the table.
And has there been anything about the course? What have you found a bit difficult, and how, or challenging, and how have you managed to kind of overcome that challenge within the course?
I don't find it difficult. I find it extremely interesting. And every time we have a lesson, it is challenging because everything I'm touching is new for me. So every exercise we do is a challenge. And you have to be authentic. You have to bring yourself there. You can't say, well, you can't really think I'm not going to share, because you're cheating yourself out of the experience. A lot of the studying and reading we have to do on our own time. The important parts, Mike is teaching us, and the rest is all the books with other information to help us gain more knowledge. And I think that anybody can actually do it. You don't have to be a therapist or in that field you just have to want to help people.
And that's quite, because I'd be scared about facilitating an anger management group, especially on a remotely. What have Mike and the Anger Academy course done to make you obviously feel quite comfortable about doing that now? What do you think the course has brought you that's led to that?
What has the course brought? Well,
Yeah.
Personally, it's given me a deeper understanding into myself. Okay. Like I said in the beginning, I did think that I would maybe not be experienced enough to be able to do this. But then again, the work that we're doing and the studying that we're doing is learning to be good facilitators. And there is an art to that. And I truly don't expect that in the beginning, I'm going to be a good facilitator. But I'm sure that with time and experience, I'll gain the knowledge. Not trying to be overconfident, but it does take experience. So I will leave the course with the tools to do it. And then I will just have to use the experience to gain the knowledge. And I know that Mike is always available to help you through any problem you might have.
And in the Anger Academy course, there are also modules for setting yourself up in business and marketing yourself.
Yeah, we haven't reached that yet, but it is on the whole program. So we started off with this jumping into our own personal things. And then we started on facilitation. And we are at the moment still learning different facilitation methods. The next step, we will be diving into the Beating Anger course itself. And we will also be having a few marketing lessons to help us market ourselves in the process.
And you're approaching the actual body of the work right now. Which bit of the anger management course itself most intrigues you?
What I found and what I experienced also doing the Beating Anger group was that by the time you finished the course, people seem to become united. You become a small little family. And in our anger management academy, I'm finding that too. We're getting to know each other very well. I recently had an incident where I was a little bit blunt with giving feedback, and it backfired on me. But that too is a lesson. I'm learning how to be a facilitator, and you want to give people feedback and you want to value people. You just have to know how to do it too.
Conflict can breed intimacy is a line I think I remember.
Oh, very good.
An anger management course.
Yeah.
And so how can you see yourself using the training, taking the training on once you're finished?
I definitely see myself starting with this. I've already started building a website for anger management. Each day that goes by, I'm feeling more and more passionate about the subject. So I think I'm going to be a very good facilitator. I'm just very anxious to get out there already, and I have to continually remind myself that we're not finished yet, you know. There's still quite a bit of information to go through before I'm there, but I'm looking forward to it very much.
So it sounds like you consider it value for money so far.
Absolutely. It's extremely valuable. All aspects. The Beating Anger course is also extremely valuable. The academy is fantastic. We are a group of 6, which is a nice, intimate group. And I think it is, I think it's fantastic. I'm gaining and learning every day.
So if somebody wasn't quite sure about taking the course or what it could do for them career-wise, what would you say?
Well, career-wise and subject-wise, I think that there is still so much room for anger management in this world. I think that anybody from a business perspective going into this now is making a very good move. Especially delivering on Zoom. You can also do it in the comfort of your home or anywhere else in the world. It's very interesting. You're meeting new people all the time. So financially, I think this is a win-win situation. You just need to also know how to go out and market yourself afterwards. But that is also part and package of what Mike is teaching us. Yeah.
And how about, I mean, you obviously, you work in healthcare already. How have you found that dealing with helping people in that way, healing people in that way? Is it going to be kind of different? I'm not quite sure what you do.
I'm an ozone therapist. So right. I treat a lot of people, and I also rent out ozone equipment for people to treat themselves at home.
Right.
So psychologically, people who are ill have a lot of psychological issues. One of them is anger, being very angry with being ill. You know, they might not know how to express it. But all those questions of why am I sick and why me and what did I do to deserve this? There might not be answers for those, but there's a lot of anger out there. So it's a matter of also helping them through the situation to just realize, guys, just breathe, you know. There are solutions for managing the anger.
And how much work is it all? How much, when's your next seminar? How much work are you doing on it this weekend? How much time are you finding it takes up?
Well, we just recently had, we meet once a week and we meet one Saturday in the month. But because of all the holidays coming up, we just had 2 Saturdays in a row.
Right.
Now, in England, you have Saturday and Sunday as a weekend. We don't. Sunday is a working day. So for me, it was very intense because I was busy all week. And then on Saturdays, I'm busy. And the time difference disrupted having a Saturday to relax. But the information is just so stimulating that I look forward to every meeting we're going to have. And it's all doable. The once a week is doable. The reading, I try and do as much reading as possible during the week.
And it's not too academic. The reading is straightforward.
No. There isn't a stopwatch on how much you're supposed to read and what you must read and not read. So I've got one book next to my bed, one book on the table over here. And I just find myself reading a few pages here, a few pages there, and just hoping that I remember everything.
Claire, lots of luck with your Anger Academy training.
Thank you.
It sounds like you're getting an awful lot out of it. All right. And yeah, we hope to see you facilitating groups imminently.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Claire.
Okay, bye.